touched.
Yeah, he put some on it. I was like, all right.
My problem is my big head, my big ass. I forget about the hands.
Big head and big ass.
Yeah, don't forget about the hands.
Oh, boy.
Thanks for hanging out with us on a Tuesday night. We're about to get things started here. It's a little bit of a different formation.
It's a hotable.
Yeah. Hot ski. This is a hot ski.
That boy's so stupid, man.
Alright, here we go. Taking it all the way back. This is courtesy of the Summer Jam, which I fully stand behind. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I am Ken Marangola, thanking you for joining us for another Tuesday night in the Basement Podcast Studios, Kensington, Maryland. He's Kevin McClinton.
Hey man, y'all like my shirt?
I do
man?
like it. I think
You
it's
like
great.
It's not too bad, huh?
No,
Yeah, that's how we.
I'm a large.
You a large?
You care to? You wouldn't do it off air? You can do it.
Oh, really? I'm an XL, you.
You sometimes say double X for some
man.
things.
Go ahead, check
Like
me out.
sweatshirts.
You wanted me to say double X, but listen, as long as it can fit over my head, I'm good. On an X.
Okay, all right.
Well,
I got no room to talk at all.
knock it off. You got sick back in December. You lost like 18 pounds, and now you're fat shaming. I get it.
I'm almost on the comeback train. He's coming, Ricca.
Can you even hear me? I can't hear you. I'm
Okay,
trying.
so
I'm listening.
Is that a little bit better?
I'm lost in emotion over here.
Yeah, that's my girl right there.
Oh.
That's my girl.
Good
I'm
Lord.
in love with her, man.
Who wasn't?
Goodness.
Casera, Kev. Think so.
I would say it's the Audible, it's the HotBox. It's really just a First Amendment Sports mess around. We appreciate you guys giving us your time tonight. We're going to say thank you to all the folks at Hogs Haven giving us a watch and a listen as we do talk a little bit of Redskins. And we will definitely get to the NBA Finals as well. Represent some friends who are here tonight. We got T and Darren with the Tuesday night off. And we look forward to seeing them back in the basement.
Yeah.
I'm in the T and Darren spot right here, so forgive me for what happens for the next 35, 45 minutes.
I would say first up on my list for the show tonight was kind of, again, just a little bit of a mashup. Just to get things started, we've been talking about him already, Kawhi Leonard. I want to ask you guys, who is the Kawhi Leonard of the NFL? I'm not even going to say the Redskins, just the Kawhi Leonard of the NFL. And I don't think that, I think that you can define it a number of ways, but I think he's got to be a...
Well, let's talk about what Kawhi brings.
Yeah, top talent.
First, and then let's figure out who that is. Because we need to figure out kind of what your, what that entails as far as what, are you talking about just pure athleticism? Are you talking about fundamentals? Are you what are we talking about? I mean, he's playing a lot of minutes, so he's willing his team to victory. Yeah. So are we talking about what
all the things that Kawhi,
elite beastliness,
and
I think is how I took it. That's where I'm coming from.
He can get you to the end. And he's not doing it by himself. Kawhi's getting plenty of help, but he is doing a hell of a lot. And in the NFL, it's a little bit hard to pin it on one guy, but there are difference makers. I mean, you could have, and I'm not even talking like Tom Brady type, player.
I took it back for mine.
All right.
I'm going to get mine out early.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I did a little research because this is a really difficult question because Kawhi is a one and only type cat, I think. I don't have a comp for him really in the NBA. But when Reggie White signed with the Packers, so another guy that went north, he went to a, maybe not exactly a tropical climate, to bring his version of culture and how to play the game, his leadership as the eminent star on the team, and everyone felt that way. Listen, he did it with the grunt work. He did it with what had to happen. He sacked everyone that came near him, and everyone was afraid of him. He had to be double teamed. He couldn't be denied. And he went up to Green Bay where they loved it. Now, they had a taste of it. This is Toronto's first trip in
Yep.
franchise history. But what Reggie White did for that culture at a time when they needed it desperately, I think is why my comp was. It was a Reggie White. Now listen, it's difficult. I'm not saying I nailed it on the head, but that's how I feel about Kawhi, a grunt guy that does it from the inside out.
The best modern day comp that I could put on that, and it's not, he's not a guy who switched teams, but I was thinking in terms of the Aaron Donald from the Rams, because I think he has to be a dominant player. He has to be a player capable of carrying his squad, which I think a talented defensive lineman is going to be a guy who can carry a squad.
Agreed, because of the leadership and the culture provided.
If you're not going to go quarterback.
Kawhi just got 2 D linemen in the NFL. I think that says a lot about how we feel about him. His tough assness on the court.
Yeah.
I'll say, and I'll go with the same position, but I'm going to say J.J. Watt.
Yeah, he was the other guy.
And because
But they have not been to the end. They have not gotten to the end.
They have not been. But when I saw when J.J. Watt was hurt, how that hurt Houston, and it goes along the same lines as when Kawhi got hurt San Antonio.
Yeah.
But I mean, J.J. Watt is just relentless.
That's a good one down there in Texas. I like it.
He's relentless, and obviously a tremendous talent, one of the top players in the league, as Kawhi is in the NBA. Just a will to win, just a will to beat the guy in front of him. And I think that's what we're seeing with Kawhi, is just a willingness, especially going to a team for the first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's taking that country over, to be honest with you. And to get them to the NBA Finals for the first time, this kind of speaks volumes of just who he is as a player, as a person. And it's going to be interesting. I'm interested. I'm looking forward to the finals. But to answer your question, I would say somebody like J.J. Watt.
It's interesting to me how a coach like Popovich, who I've said a number of times, I think is the greatest active coach in all of sports right now, that he put up with the show that goes with, are you going to be able to keep a guy or not? In free agency when a guy comes up, and the Kawhi Leonard dance with San Antonio it was ugly. It was not fun. If you were a Spurs fan, it was very not fun. And I know Popovich.
First time it happened to them.
Yeah, first time it ever happened to them, and it soured me a little bit on him. But I also think people go to. It's not that people go to San Antonio to die, but people that go to San Antonio don't go to become household names necessarily. And I think the secret was definitely well kept in San Antonio in Popovich's system. And when he got out of there, I just feel like it was all of a sudden obvious. The productivity, to me, it's the productivity. People just don't understand. We were talking about it a little before the show. People don't understand how productive he is, and it's from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. It's all season long. He just chips away at you with productivity. He fills up the stat sheet, and it's insane.
Hey, when you graduate college and you go off and you're a businessman, you go to the Wharton School of Business, correct? Like that would be like the preeminent place to go. Well, when he graduated college or left college, he got to go to the San Antonio Spurs and learn this game under that man in that system. And then you heard Pop say he wants it. He's got all the tools to get there. And the best part about Kawhi, and he loved him, man, was he wants all of it. He works for all of it. He's the guy that he's going to get there. And I'm sure he wished it was while he was there. But look, guys, in the postseason, he's the best mid-range shooter in the postseason. We're talking about a lot of great shooters. Kawhi's not known as a great shooter, but God bless, doesn't he get it done? And he's getting it done with numbers, and he's getting it done with results, and he's getting it done as a first-year guy. He's made DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a. I'll let you guys finish.
You know what's funny is that San Antonio is the one team where it's the coach's team. You know what I mean? Nowadays you have, whose team is this? Is this LeBron's team? Is this KD's team? Is this Steph's team? Is this Russell Westbrook's team? Like, you have all these different teams that are defined by one player, whereas San Antonio, it's Pop's team. You know what I mean? And I think that
there's no other coach in the
there's
NBA
no
whose
other
team
coach
it
that
is.
has that. Right, exactly. So I think with Kawhi, I think it was one of those things where he wanted to get out of that shadow. You know what I mean? Where he wanted to be
Which is
able to-
crazy. It's the
It
most
is.
modern day breakup of all time between a great coach and a great player
But
who
you
don't
have
even
to
hate each other.
understand, right, but you have to understand
Yeah.
the mentality of these players now. You know, these players is so much about forming teams, it's so much about whose team is this, whose team is that. And I think with Kawhi's like, you know what, I don't have to be in a San Antonio system to be effective. And I think that's what drove him to be out of San Antonio is that I'm a great player. And Popovich's system, while it's very good, doesn't define me as a player. And I want to go somewhere to be able to show that I don't have to be here to be successful and to be a great player. And that's what he's doing. He's showing that in Toronto.
Will he resign with Toronto?
Hell no.
Will he resign with
No
Toronto?
chance. Zero chance.
Yes
he
or
could,
no?
He could win a title in Game 7.
It's more yes now than it was before, but that more yes is like 1%. 1%?
No, it's 0.
Come on, you know he's not staying in Toronto.
Come on, man. This guy's born
Why
and
would-
raised in Cali.
Why wouldn't?
Oh, he for
Now, let's look at the personality. Okay, let's look at who he is as a personality. Kawhi, I don't think needs to go to a big city. I don't think he needs to do that.
He doesn't need to do anything.
I don't. Right, exactly. I
He
don't
can do
think
whatever, but he
I don't
can-
think
No,
he
but I think
needs
he's
to.
a homeboy.
He's not.
Yeah,
right,
he
but
wants
I
to
don't
get
think
back to the States.
He's not looking for a huge market.
He's not looking to be
He's
Toronto
not.
bound forever. Either.
Why?
French Canadian, bunch of Canadians hanging out all over the place. In a hockey
He's not in
town.
Quebec. He's in Toronto.
Well, I'm just saying.
But no, he didn't.
No, but I mean, why wouldn't you? He's gonna get a super max.
Yeah, he is.
So why wouldn't you stay in Toronto in the East?
I'll give you one reason. Toronto. I'm sorry. I don't hate on Toronto, but they're not staying in
You have a lot
Toronto.
of French people that are gonna be pissed at you.
No, dude.
Guys, stop. No one. Toronto's not French Canadian. It's Montreal.
Yeah, but Toronto has some French speakers. They have some French
does,
speakers.
of course.
They love America in Toronto.
But Canadians are going to be super pissed because they apparently they congregate outside of the stadium when they play road games and watch on a jumbotron and
Yes.
they go bonkers.
Toronto sports
They
fans are
love his
amazing.
ass.
I
And
love
they
Toronto
deserve,
sports
They
fans.
deserve it. This Toronto
Always have.
Raptors fans have always loved and embraced the NBA, and now they get this guy that's taking them.
That's a great place to play, man. They
Oh,
love their team.
Toronto! Don't get me wrong.
They
Toronto's
love
an
their team,
amazing
man.
city,
They love
an
their team,
amazing
yeah.
sports city.
Right.
Hell
If
yeah.
they win it all, I will give it a 20% chance of him staying. If they win it all.
If they
I
lose,
think that's a good. I
if they
think
lose,
that's a
you give
good.
it a what? If they
Zero.
lose.
Zero.
Why?
Because he can do what he's doing right now
We have to
in
look at.
5
where's
better
he-
places.
where's-
All right, what about Lowry's
Where?
contract, Ibaka's contract? We have to
He
look
can-
at all
he can
this.
have the Wizards.
Wait a minute,
We
hold
can
on,
make this Kawhi's team.
time out. How do you say there's
You
5?
just said
Wait a minute,
where.
hold on,
You
hold on.
just said where. By
I
the
gave
way.
you one, but I'm saying how can you say there's 5 different
It's called the
places?
city.
No,
Where
I'm talking about
there's
5 different
2
cities.
Where could you be better than Toronto in the East?
Dude, every year in the NBA, they take the deck of cards and they go shuffle it up, and everyone ends up in random places. And Kawhi can easily end up in some random place that he wants to be city-wise with a max
Do
contract.
you have the opportunity that you have now?
In Toronto,
Yeah.
you can't replicate Lowry and Seat Koku
You're in the
and.
East.
Listen,
Yeah, Kim. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
All right.
No offense again. No offense to David.
I
Green.
said it wrong.
Like, where,
I said it
where
wrong on
could you-
purpose.
Yes.
Where could you go in the East?
Anywhere in the East. How about anywhere besides
Boston.
Milwaukee? Anywhere besides Milwaukee, you can go and.
I'm
still be
I'm not saying I think he's going there, but Boston.
Yeah, and even not
He could
Boston.
if he can fix culture in Toronto, the way
Any,
DeMar
even
DeRozan could
anywhere
not.
else.
I don't think so.
I mean, I think he wants to go somewhere a little more exciting.
Hey, look, Paul
personally.
George stayed in Oklahoma City and didn't go back, and he's a Southern Cali boy. Kawhi is also, but so that leads me to believe that he can go anywhere. He like what
I mean,
you're
he
saying.
can go
just-
anywhere.
No, he can make his own
He can
choice
go
based on
anywhere.
this, but he seems to be like a one man wolf pack. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
I don't see him as a dude that's going to chase a ring.
No.
don't.
I'm not saying
I
he's
don't.
chasing.
I don't see
the
him
Clippers
chasing
are probably more up to get him than the Lakers as well. I'm not saying the Lakers. I'm saying if you're going back home and you want to be around family and friends, build it up with what the Clippers are doing, and that could be. I think that's the number one option outside of Toronto.
Really? Okay.
I mean,
That's what-
I'm
and
guessing.
Those are the odds on favor for him to go to the Clippers.
Yeah.
But even if he goes to the Clippers, they're still losing to Golden State. I mean,
What about going to New Orleans and playing maybe with AD and Zion? Weird things have happened.
Yeah. Still
I mean,
losing to Golden
Well, he's
State.
not going to play with both of those guys, but he could play with one of them.
Well, he's likely not.
Yeah,
Both of those guys.
yeah,
but
maybe. Yeah.
You don't think that
I think
Griffiths
he
would
can.
go to AD and Kawhi and
I
say,
can see
"Fuck
him.
it."
I can see him going to Golden State if KD
Oh, yeah.
leaves.
Oh yeah, that would
I
be
can see him
amazing.
going to Golden State if KD leaves.
That would be unfair.
Because I'm gonna tell you
That'd
something.
be unfair.
That'd be
The
they
way
wouldn't
they
lose a
play, the
thing.
way Golden State plays, is beautiful, beautiful basketball, man. It's beautiful basketball because the ball doesn't stick, the ball moves, everybody gets touches, nobody cares who scores, and if you're playing for a team like that in this modern day where everybody just ISOs and everything, and it gets, I mean, I'm just thinking about Houston. It just makes me sick watching them play, but. With Golden State, with the way the ball moves and all that stuff, it is just a joy to watch them play basketball.
So,
And I think that's what attracted KD. You know what I mean? I think that's what attracted KD. I mean, obviously KD wanted to, he went there and he won a championship.
Yeah.
But I think he really wanted to go to a place where the ball just moves, man, and he just, you can play basketball.
where there's a lot of shots,
Yeah, you can play
a place where there's a
basketball.
lot of shots.
When you
attracts
watch
guys
Golden
like
State
KD.
play, that's basketball. That's how you play basketball. And that's exactly what I think is very attractive to a lot of people is the way they play basketball.
I give Kerr tons. I'd say like 30% Kerr,
I think he's a freaking wizard.
30% Kerr,
Listen,
70%
you
players.
guys have heard the sound bites of him talking to his guys. Like,
Yeah.
we've all
35%
played a lot of sports for a lot of coaches, albeit not on this level I'm talking about. But I don't give a damn. When it comes to team, there's not anyone at this poker table right now that wouldn't cut something off to play something for Steve Kerr.
course.
I mean,
Plus
damn.
Cousins. How long do they got Cousins?
No longer.
He's a 1-year
He's
deal.
a 1 year
Okay.
NBA veterans minimum for $5 million.
I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back to the Warriors.
No, of course
Why
not.
not?
I wouldn't be.
He took a break this year because of his situation.
This is
physically.
Because he's not. Who's going to sign him?
Mhm.
He's coming off 2 major injuries. Who's going to sign him?
This is a Gillette special.
Where is Ernie Grunfeld right now? Is there a signing he can make
Or-
involving Boogie Cousins?
Or Bruce Allen. Let me ask you guys this. So we're talking about it being someone's team. I'll keep you on your toes. Whose team are the Redskins?
Whose team?
Yeah, whose team is it?
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams.
About to be Dwayne Haskins for a
When
long
it's
time.
still Trent.
Oh, I agree with what I said previously.
You know whose defense it is?
About to be
Landon
Landon
Collins.
Collins.
I was gonna say Landon Collins. We were
Jonathan
talking about
Allen
Montez
I was gonna
is
say
going to have to
Jonathan
see,
Allen.
and in
I was
unison.
going to say Jonathan
It's
Allen.
Jonathan Allen. You're right.
And you know what?
I
And you know what?
vote for Jonathan Allen.
I also,
Yeah.
because listen, he's
But they're
ours.
teammates. They were teammates, right?
He played his high school football in Ashburn, Virginia. He is.
Yes, he
he is home, but those two in unison at the front.
Were they ever on the same team in Alabama?
They
were, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Landon Collins
believe
played
so.
his 4-year contract out. This would be his 5th year. This would be Jonathan Allen's 3rd year.
Yes.
So if Collins was a junior, then he would have been a freshman.
Yes.
Allen.
So, just to close out the Kawhi Leonard of category, I want to ask you guys this question. You're at a diner, an all-American diner, anywhere in America. You know what's on the menu at a diner. What's the Kawhi Leonard of the all-American diner menu? Come on, I know I've already given it some thought, but I want to let you guys ruminate on it a little bit. The Kawhi Leonard of the diner menu.
A hamburger.
Really? A hamburger? That's
Scrambled
Come on,
eggs.
man.
A hamburger.
Scrambled eggs.
He's not fancy.
A
You
hamburger?
don't even need to put cheese on
They
it.
probably pre-cooked it. They left it in some juice.
You
They
don't
If
just
you don't put cheese on a hamburger, then you're an ass.
No, I'm just saying.
It's not you specifically,
He's
but
basic. He's
this
basic.
You can lose with a hamburger.
He's basic.
that's why I went with eggs.
Dude has no. He
I went with
doesn't.
eggs,
He doesn't.
yes.
He doesn't. Listen. Have you ever seen his post-game interviews? He doesn't give you
Talking about the
anything,
hamburger?
man. He doesn't give you anything.
Hey, I
There's
said
nothing flashy about his game. His game is basic, but it's so good.
But does it carry a menu?
What?
A good burger. I'll give you this. A
Oh,
good
yeah,
burger.
a good menu. A
Like
good
Steph-
basic menu.
Like Steph is.
A
Steph
good
is.
Good basic
Steph,
menu.
Steph
Yes,
is.
yes.
Okay. Steph's game is like filet mignon. You know what I mean? Like it's expensive.
Could be surf and turf.
It could. That's what I'm saying. Like
It's not the
his
day.
game.
Clay's
but-
a special today.
But Kawhi is just. He's basic, man. Like
I'm going. I can't believe you guys
he's
didn't say pancakes.
hamburger and fries.
Well, because basic in breakfast at a diner to me is the eggs. You're always getting eggs. You're not just.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you're getting
I'm getting
pancakes, you're getting eggs. If you're
stacked
getting bacon, you're
bacon
getting
and
eggs. But listen,
Yeah.
I sent you guys that video. Him and Serge Ibaka.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw what he was eating in there. That's not. That wasn't basic.
No.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to bring it up here because it always makes Juice uncomfortable.
It does. It does.
They were dining on stuff that I would
It's okay.
never dine upon.
It's all right. Hey, you
All right.
close your earmuffs.
Yeah,
Earmuffs,
please don't
Juice.
bring that up.
Look,
I
and Google,
swear
and
to
listen,
God.
listen. I won't bring it up, but if you're listening out there,
Yeah.
Google Serge Ibaka and Kawhi Leonard what they're eating. Penises.
Yeah, they were penis. They were definitely eating some of that. But
And they were arguing about it, man. Like,
pancakes.
but my point is, he's a ruffian. He's an old school guy. Like, I feel like he's a survivor. If you're in the woods, he's gonna be the guy eating a bug. He'll eat the grub
You
worm
put
for
cheese on it?
protein.
You don't need to put cheese on it.
I'm
Just
saying,
eat
are
a
you-
straight burger.
Can you,
Yeah, but
are
in
you
my
putting
world, there's
cheese
no
on
such
it?
thing as a hamburger with no cheese
You
on
don't
it.
order it.
That's why I call it a hamburger.
Yeah, that's why I never said I like a hamburger.
In
I've
my
always
entire
said
life.
Right, that's what
probably
I'm saying. It's
50,000
basic,
times.
just a basic
A
burger.
basic cheeseburger is delicious. Just give him some
It
cheese,
is,
man.
it is, but you're doing too much with the cheese.
God
Just
damn
go
it.
straight
Can he get
hamburger.
ketchup on his fries?
Are you putting anything like onions, mayonnaise?
You don't need to do all that. You don't need to do all that with Kawhi.
So,
Kawhi don't need
so
to do
Kawhi's
that.
a hockey puck.
Kawhi
You
eat a
guys
hamburger.
warm up
listen,
on the griddle?
Kawhi eat a hamburger, not even with the roll, just the straight bread. You know what I
No
mean?
buns.
With some white bread, and that's it,
Bunless.
man. That's all he eats.
That's a
You can
bunless.
put the ketchup on it, but the ketchup is going to show
Alright.
the spot right there in the
You're
middle
calling
of the
him
bread.
bunless
That's
meat.
what it is, yeah. That's how we used to. That's bro.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, the pancakes are right there. A little bit of hash
Yeah,
browns.
no, you can't put syrup. You gotta put syrup on pancakes. He's not
Yeah.
a syrupy cat.
Put a little, might put a little syrup on it.
I
So no cheese in the burger, but syrup in the
Maybe a
pancakes.
little
I'm so
syrup,
and
maybe a
butter.
little, there's not that much
I'm gonna have
syrup.
some butter on that.
He don't need it.
I'm
That's
so-
Kawhi don't do that,
I'm
man.
so-
Kawhi doesn't do that. Kawhi is straight to the point. He don't need all that. He's not fancy with it. He probably drives an old car. He probably, you know what I mean? Like he
Like
just
Alfred,
chill.
no, Alfred Morris.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's how Kawhi is,
Nah, he's
man.
rugged.
He don't need all that, man. You know?
If there is syrup, it's out of a tree from somewhere in Toronto.
And he tapped the tree himself.
Yeah.
You know, he don't need to get no. He don't need to get
The
no.
tree is not a
He don't need
nickname.
to get no pedicures or nothing.
No,
he probably has,
no.
you know what I mean? He probably has, bunions and corns and all that in his feet. Don't care, man. Walk around
Yeah.
with, that's Kawhi.
Ingrown
That's the
hairs,
burger.
Right,
smelly
you know what I'm saying?
feet.
Right.
He's got all of it. Nasty ass motherfucker.
Next time you're in a
But be out here balling. Oh my
order
god.
that burger with some bunions and see
Yeah,
what they give you.
yeah, that's
See
what
what
I'm
they
saying,
give you.
man. Yeah.
All right, next topic. Winner, how many games?
I'm gonna go Golden State. Ooh, I think 5 is the answer.
You know what?
I was gonna say 5, but I'll say 6. I said 5 earlier, but since
I
Kev took
said
5,
6 earlier,
I'll
but
take 6.
I'm gonna be the sweep guy. All right, I think Golden State
double,
is the sweeper.
you already double sweep Toronto out of this business.
I know. I was wrong before about it, so I got double. I'm doubling down on the sweep because I didn't get the double sweep. I was half
You didn't
right.
even get it right, man. You took.
I
you
think I
picked
got half right.
picked Milwaukee.
I did pick Milwaukee. I was wrong all over
You
the
and
place.
Darren both, man. Y'all both need to knock it off.
Who did he have?
Darren had,
Toronto and
Milwaukee,
Portland.
Darren had Milwaukee winning it. He had Toronto. He had Milwaukee and Portland.
He had Portland in there.
But listen, to Darren's defense, as I sit here
That's
right in the
terrible.
seat that he be talking from, he's a big, huge Laverne and Shirley fan. That was filmed in Milwaukee, and he's talked about it so
Don't
much.
do that. Don't do that. Don't give him a crutch.
He's going Lenny
Don't
and
give him a
Squiggy.
crutch.
can't
Don't
help
do
him
it.
out
Don't
with
give him
Lenny
a
and
crutch. No,
Squiggy.
absolutely
I'm
not.
just trying to say Lenny and Squiggy.
You gotta go Lenny and
Schlemiel,
Squiggy style.
Schlemaza, Cooperative
Don't give him that.
Incorporated.
Don't give him that.
All right, well, I
Don't
did.
give
I
him
gave it
that.
to him. I did not wear a towel.
Big
Fair
mistake.
enough.
You did.
Big
you did.
mistake.
You did.
Sorry, big bro. I know this is the chair that I have
You
to
need
answer
toweled
for you.
up.
But
Not
I don't
towel.
fill up that chair all that well. And you lost a bunch of weight and you sit there right fine. And guess what? I open up my computer, I see the St. James. I listen to the radio, I see the St.
Yeah, it's
James.
all over the
I
place.
come back here to the basement.
Basement, St. James.
Shout out St. James.
Yep.
MVP of the series? Oh, hold on. I gave you first last time. MVP of the series.
Steph.
There's not a second place answer.
It's Draymond. I think Draymond
No,
is.
listen. They already gave it to Iguodala for doing the knuckles worth. I think Steph averaged 26.5 in that series.
He's got
And
carry.
again,
And he will.
look, this is Steph's time. Steph's career, the cherry on top. When we talk about him in 20 years, will be this is the series that he gets it. He gets it.
Get an alert. A basement alert. It's everywhere. What do we got? Flood alert?
Now, unfortunately, we got an Amber Alert.
Darn it.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, well, listen.
Yeah, read it.
You know what? If it's out there, it's out there.
Let's do it. We're live. Someone could be watching this in their car.
Well,
Is it a silver? What color car is it?
License plate.
You can't read it. You can't
hit something. I don't know how to do it.
I don't know how you
apparently,
do it either.
But apparently,
Darn
we've
it.
been told we sound like we're very far away. A silver car, a silver Acura, a silver
Why is it
Acura.
always Acuras? You know, I
Sound
know
like
it's
we're so
either an
far away.
Acura. I'm serious, man. Like it's either an Acura or an Accord. It's
Yeah.
always those are always the cars that end up having some kind of Amber Alert. An Acura or an Accord.
You're right. You're right about that.
I'm serious.
Well,
Accord. They're always. I swear to God, every time I see an Amber Alert, it's an Accord or an Acura. It's crazy.
No. I have a blue Acura. No silver, but you know what? God bless the spot. We always say in my family, and hopefully that takes care
At least we'll be able to
takes
know
care of
exactly what it
everything.
is.
Exactly.
Y'all remember we used to look for the white box van when the sniper?
Yeah.
But if you've seen me cartwheel, triple jump, hit the damn pommel horse, and leap over it, we were heading down. We headed down to a game in Virginia. When it happened, I was right here, right on Connecticut Avenue, the Shell right there across from Continental.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it progressed down through Wheaton into the Michaels, I believe, my little brother was playing down in Hampton, Sydney, the Ponderosa Steakhouse down by King's Dominion.
Okay.
That was right where Randolph Macon was. We were headed down
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I'm talking uncles in the car, Pat Ward, Sam D'Souza. I mean, we got 4 dudes at like 1,200 pounds plus,
Right.
and I'm telling you, everyone was balled up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll pump the gas. Like we were doing that, man. I was bartending at the time. No one was showing up at the place, man. We were just sitting there chilling. That was a scary time.
It was.
It feels like it was 100 years ago. It also feels like it was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's weird how long ago it was, but and not to jump
I know,
too
we-
quickly
Yeah,
off
I know.
off in the Ponderosa, but
I
in the
know.
Ponderosa, you got to put that chocolate pudding on your tray, right?
There was a Ponderosa in Bethesda. I put everything on my tray. Butterscotch. If there was pudding, it was going on the tray.
All pudding on the tray.
And those steaks kept coming out and you kept eating them. Like you were allowed.
You ain't get a hamburger?
Listen, I've never eaten a
Do they have hamburger in Ponderosa? I
Yeah.
never had a hamburger in
Yeah.
Ponderosa.
Yeah. I eat probably 3 pounds of cheese every 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh,
Cheese
my
is my
God.
love. Cheese
Oh, I
is my
love
life.
cheese, too. That's
Oh
my-
God
that's
dang
my
it.
problem, man. Cheese is my
Baked
problem.
potato Ponderosa.
Cheese.
Cheese is my
Oh,
problem,
the twice
man.
cooked
cheese.
I'll just eat
Cheese.
cheese by itself.
Well, you put cheese on
I'm
baked
so
potato,
bad
right?
with it. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so sure.
I look like a chipmunk
I do.
eating
It's
Cracker
bad, man.
Barrel.
I'll just take a slice of cheese and just eat it. It's just bad, man.
Which
One?
favorite
One
kind of cheese?
slice? You take one slice? I unwrap
Favorite
them
cheese.
and I put them on my arms so they don't stick to each other. So I make sure I get the full bite.
Kraft.
So American cheese,
Absolutely.
Kraft singles.
American
Like
singles.
American is my most used cheese down the
But
gullet.
I'll even cut like a
My
piece
preference.
of Kobe
Yellow
cheese.
or white?
Yellow.
Yeah, yellow.
Yeah.
Although I
Oh,
don't know.
white American. I was yellow for
White
probably 18
American.
years, and I've been white for 25.
I love them both, but I'm good. I'm lately. I'm on a Munster kick.
Munster has no personality, man.
If you get a good one, it's good. If you get a good one, it's good.
I feel like Munster and Provolone just don't have any personality.
You know,
I
I'll
like
put
it.
provolone on some steak. You put provolone on steak and cheese.
I would never put provolone on steak and cheese.
White.
White American.
White American. White. No, I wouldn't do white. I do
Yellow American.
Okay, that's fair.
That's right.
All right. I also will go to Whole Foods and buy 3 cheeses I cannot pronounce and eat them for 7 hours on a Sunday.
Understood.
I will
Including
eat them.
cans of cheese.
I will eat the shit out of some cheese.
I know you will.
Bring
I
me
know you
cheese
will.
I don't like, I'll show you a quitter. Does that make sense?
It makes it actually. It's surprisingly.
I never quit on cheese.
There's not a whole lot of quitting in him when it comes to cheese. They would say.
Yeah.
All right, so I wanted to transition just a teeny tiny bit to the Wizards. What was the question? Can you remember what the question we talked about earlier today that involved the Wizards and the Redskins?
Front offices.
Front offices? Yeah, we're talking about front offices. Which one?
Well, seeing as the Wizards right now is empty, it's kind of tough. So
Right,
basically, we're
right.
comparing Ernie Grunfeld to our 2 class act Redskin front office guys. Hashtag fire Bruce Allen and hashtag where's Vinny.
Maybe it has to do with more with the answers because I think what I was thinking about was
I was
from a
gonna ask you
faith
this.
perspective. Like where are we at in terms of so
Who's in a better position? Is that what you're doing? Like, who's in a better?
Well, the Wizards are in
the
no
State
position.
of the Union.
They got Tommy Shepard trying to keep things together.
Yeah.
So you're
He's been around forever, but
But both organizations are hamstrung by injured superstar contracts, which is weird.
no, the Wizards are hamstrung.
Yeah, I know, but so the Redskins
The
have.
Redskins aren't.
We owe Alex Smith $51 million. He's never playing again. That's hamstrung.
Not really. I mean,
$51 million.
yeah, well, that's a
John
broken
Wall.
leg. That's just a broken leg.
John Wall.
worse.
John Wall.
Oh, that's an Achilles.
That's
I
John
understand.
Wall, man. Like that. They're screwed. They're screwed.
They are screwed.
They're screwed. The Redskins are. I think the Redskins are in a better state when it comes to that. I mean, yeah, Alex Smith is making $17 million, but they can cut him.
Our salary cap
They can cut
penalty
it.
was more than our contract obligation
I get
to Alex
that.
Smith.
I understand that, but they can cut him.
No, they cannot cut Alex
Yes,
Smith.
absolutely they can. Now
They
they're gonna
don't
get hit, but they can cut him. They can do something to his. You can't do anything to John Wall. There's nothing.
You
You
can
can't
cut him.
get out of that.
But you can cut him and somebody. Same thing. If either one gets cut, they both get paid. It doesn't matter what happens to either one of them.
Right, but I mean, the Redskins can come back from that. The Redskins are in a better position where they can come back from that.
But the
The
NBA
Wizards
salary
are
cap's going up as well.
Screwed, man.
The Wizards are definitely screwed.
And you got Bradley Beal.
Guys,
Well, but-
Now
can
the-
I just say how badly we got screwed?
Are we trading him?
I think you have to.
No.
I think you have to
probably
trade.
do as well, but I
You
don't
have
want
to.
to.
You have to trade.
Not yet.
This is
You
his
have to
team.
start over, man.
This-
Not- well, maybe.
You have to start.
This is
over.
the
You have to have
Bradley
some
Beal's
of it.
team.
If you're the new GM, you're never going to have more power than you have right now. You have to trade Bradley Beal. Now, I don't want to see him do it because Bradley Beal is a hell of a player.
It's his team.
It's his team, but I think you have to start over, man. You have to start from scratch. You know what I mean? That ship has sailed, man. That
But
John
no,
Wall-
but that's the problem.
You are
That's
a
the problem
brutal
with trading.
fan.
I'm serious though. You
I
know,
know, but
Trading Bradley Beal doesn't save you from wall contracts.
someone has to go
I
to the
get
stadium.
that. I get that.
If we trade Bradley
But
Beal,
you
who's
have
going
to-
to the games?
Doesn't save you from
It
from
doesn't.
that.
I mean, we have to start over, man.
We already have him. We're already paying him. He already fits. If you can't trade Bradley Beal.
He's
Bradley
a
Beal doesn't
valuable-
save you from John
he's
Wall.
a valuable trading. He's a valuable piece.
Yeah, but
of
for
trade.
what? The damn draft is 3 players deep, correct? I think we all feel comfortable about this. So the Lakers are the ones that would like to be able to trade something. They're the 4th pick.
Right?
And now what are we doing? The 4th pick could be the 10th.
You're right, you're
could
right,
be the
you're
15th.
right.
But we
There's
still
been-
have the
there's been a-
same
there's been a lot of
inflexibility.
trade-
So the
there's been a
same
lot of-
contract inflexibility. No matter what we do with Bradley Beal, whoever we bring in, we still have the same contract.
But you won't have to
inflexibility
trade.
with
You
John
won't have
Wall.
to pay Bradley Beal.
Can I tell you guys something I haven't told you yet that is pertaining to this situation and this basement immensely?
All right.
Tim Conley, Denver Nuggets GM,
Who turned us down?
who turned us down.
Is he coming back?
My classmate at Catholic University, a year younger than me, transferred in junior year. That would have been like
That would've been amazing.
I'm not even certain where to go with this, but not that we were like fastest friend, but that's a friendly face and a comfortable conversation.
Yeah, that would've been nice.
Catholic University is that big, and I didn't want to say anything to ruin it. And then when he came back and said that $4 million, we barely had a conversation. He was right. Very smart man, very nice man. Transferred into school a year behind me with about 2 years left. If you're doing the math out there, we've talked about math tonight. That means I was there for a minute. Great guy. I mean, this is a dude that
That was
we
your
sit,
Van Wilder.
that's a guy that we sit in the basement right now going like, you know what, guys, you're all right, but I'm not going to tell you for trading Bradley Beal yet. This is my choice. And you know whose choice it's going to be? Someone's hopefully soon, because the damn draft is on June 20th. We're almost 3 weeks out, but we have no idea who's going to make these choices that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because if it was Tim Conley, fellas, we'd have had some pretty fun stuff to do.
Let me ask
and
you-
I'm sad about it, but damn it, who's going to do this?
Let me ask
Let me ask you.
Let me
Hold
ask
on,
you-
hold on.
Go ahead, mark
I'm
it
tightening
down.
up my
That's
belt.
my
No,
first
no, I
one.
got to
That's
tighten
my
my
first
belt.
Let me ask you this. I need to find this out. You keep Bradley Beal.
Yep.
You keep him.
Yep.
How long do you honestly think it's going to take for the Wizards to contend?
Oh, no. He's to keep asses in the seats, and because he's amazing, because he's not going to be here for that.
Right.
Right.
So why not trade him at his highest value?
Because we can't have 13 people at every Wizards home game with John Wall out with an Achilles and Bradley Beal gone and who?
They're
What?
going to stink next year anyway.
I know, but you're not a Saturansky guy.
So you might as
gonna
well-
be,
you might
he's
as
gonna be
well-
getting 24
They're going to stink.
and 9.
They're going to stink next year. They're going to be awful.
I know. Where are you going, Ken?
I'm gonna R2D2 this
Yeah.
audio.
I said
Someone's giving
Saturansky.
us-
You said they're gonna stink. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. I'm with you, man. But I don't. It's worth it for this year's draft juice. Not me. 4 through 20 is a jumbled up, mixed up. Who knows? So if someone comes in that's got a guy that has some intel, that knows what's up, that's one thing. The top 3 picks are worth it. Correct? Well, Bradley Beal, don't you think for the next 6 years? Then maybe those guys. I don't know. That's the question.
I think you can trade.
The Lakers have that 4th pick. That's the one.
Right, and you can take that kid from Vanderbilt, the point guard.
Non-athletic, good shooter.
They need a point guard.
Not a defender.
Absolutely.
And he's a hybrid point. He's not a natural.
He's very good.
Assist man.
He's very good.
We got a response.
I think he's very good. I do. Darius Garland is very good.
I would take Garland. I would trade Bradley Beal to the Lakers for the number 4 pick.
Thank you, Alan.
No, you have to do some more stuff.
Of course.
Man. You can't.
All
You
right,
have to
fair
do
enough.
some more. You have to trade some more stuff. But I'm just saying that would be the focal point of that trade, the 4th pick in the draft for Bradley Beal.
All right.
No chance.
Shout out to who just fixed what.
Alan Vogt,
Vogt? Yeah.
who's been, he's basically our everything engineer. So I don't know what I did, but he says,
My song right
it's
here,
better.
man. That's
So
my song right here.
let me know
Yeah.
if it is actually better. And you can
Oh,
hear it
Johnny
better.
Gill and Ralph Tresvant, both of them go opposite ends of the spectrum. When they bring it
Absolutely.
in together,
Yes.
it's curtain call.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
slow danced and had to hide someone in my belt one too many
You
times.
see the New Edition movie?
Oh, it inspired
yeah.
me to make a New Edition.
Did
everything.
you see the New Edition movie?
I
man?
started putting posters up in me and my wife's room right afterwards. It brought me right back
Who was
to
your
13.
favorite? Who did the best job?
Who did the Bobby Brown?
Bobby Brown was the best.
Bobby
was
Brown
the
was
best.
the best.
The next day after the concert when he was in the car. yeah, that was tough.
Bobby Brown was the
Yeah.
best, man. Bobby Brown. I mean, Ralph was good. I mean, they were all really, really good, man.
Well,
Yep.
they
who was
all
the,
were
who's
really
the
good.
businessman? Was it
It was
Bivens?
Bivens.
Michael Bivens.
Michael
yeah,
Bivens.
Yeah, he killed it, and he still is.
Yeah.
Everyone else had listen though, Bobby. That they couldn't control.
Not
Bobby.
from Belle Biv DeVoe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah.
Bivens. But when the old school, the guy that taught them all how to do the old school dance,
Yeah.
and they were like shoe bob,
Yeah.
that was ridiculous,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
And they all got
was
screwed
fun.
because the game is dirty, and then they figured some shit out and got
Yeah.
it all done. Oh,
Oh, have you
the
seen?
soundtrack to that was amazing.
Have you guys seen any of Mikes of Men?
Who?
Oh, you guys got to watch it. It's on. It's either Showtime or Stars. I think it's Showtime. Of Mikes and Men. I think we're in either episode 2 or 3. It's Wu-Tang Clan. It is just. It takes you all the way back. It's those guys, and it's the story of them. It is insane. I highly recommend it. It's unbelievable. The first I got sucked in. I was up late one night, as I often am. It was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Company?
Three's Company ended on that. Like
I've been up
1
many
o'clock.
nights with 36 chambers banging. Excuse me for 1 second,
Yes.
because someone else just let me know that I have to fix something.
Oh, okay, good.
But 36
Of-
chambers is one of the greatest of all time.
Of Mikes and Men, it takes you through like the way they got formed, the stuff they were doing like in school. Are you on camera? Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I thought for some reason you were saying you were off camera. The first episode is nuts. I mean, it's nuts.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I would
man.
check it out. It
have
is
no
it's
clue.
insane. It has footage of them, and how they were coming together, and the things that they were doing that no one was paying attention to, and like how they were forming it all up. And I saw the beginning of episode 2, and they're all sitting in the theater, hanging out, like busting on each other about the things that they were doing to each other. Because basically
Old
they were,
dirty bastard.
their first single, which I'm gonna just totally screw up the name of which I can't get, but there's footage of them practicing it at someone at Riz's house. I'm gonna get that wrong too.
RZA or Jizza.
You don't even need
Yeah.
to look
Old
over here
Dirty.
'cause I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
Method,
You
yeah.
just-
This is right
But-
after
I mean,
Juice.
I'll play along with you.
And then
man.
and then
I don't know.
Cream came out, and literally, I'll put that up there with some of the other like musical stuff that we've talked about in recent
It
times.
is.
The
It was-
Yeah, what y'all
was-
talking about, man.
We're 94. It was a.
You don't like
know, you know
Wu-Tang?
what we're talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Right.
I'm not even a huge Wu-Tang fan. It's just it's a fascinating thing about. It's like the Biggie
Yeah.
miniseries.
Cream, get the money.
I mean, just watching what these guys were up to. I mean, they're they've done well for themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Well, they're all brilliant marketers,
Which
all
gives-
of them,
Yes.
and talented musicians
Yes,
as well.
they
Yes,
are.
they all exist
They
now because of both of those
they
things.
are.
Yes.
Which brings me to my give me your 5 that I have for you guys. And
Ooh,
give me your
we
5.
You didn't say this in pre-production.
No, I didn't want it because I wanted to
Yeah, you can
segue
give it-
into it.
Okay.
Musical biopics. Okay, so movies or
Jesus H. Christ, Ken.
yes, I know.
Do you want?
Musical biopic.
Yes, the best movies or short series made about bands or musical acts. For example, the Biggie one. For example, of Mike's and Men. For example, the Queen movie that just came out. For example, the Elton John movie that's about to come out. For example,
So a movie like a movie of a band or
just anything that you like the shows. Like for example, the Biggie one is probably one of the best ones in the last probably 5 years or more. And how many episodes was that? 4?
New Edition.
It was the best.
The New Edition one was amazing.
New Edition was
Yeah.
unreal.
New Edition one was fantastic.
That might be the number one to me, man.
It's my favorite. Listen, my wife and I, we made a playlist. She was like, "Let's have a party where it's a New Edition like that year party." Like she was all into everything because that's our youth, man. That's us from like honestly 11, 12 to 25 and everything in between. That was the best stuff. Yeah, I don't know what else there is. I can't even come at you with something else. Like the Biggie thing was good, but I'm not going to say it was amazing. I liked it.
Tupac wasn't bad either. All Eyes on Me.
Yeah,
That
but
wasn't bad
I
either.
don't
Like that
know.
wasn't bad.
Like
There's I mean, Straight Outta Compton was
Straight Outta Compton was
within the last
phenomenal.
5 years.
Yeah.
That was pretty huge.
Straight Outta Compton was phenomenal.
if I told you that I knew every lyric to every Eazy-E song that's
course
ever been
not.
produced,
Right.
No, I do. That's
8
what I'm telling
Mile.
you. But I'm not proud about it.
8
and I have to
Mile
take it
was
off
good.
The
8
Doors
Mile
was
My,
a good movie.
8 Mile was good. But
Bohemian
listen,
Rhapsody, obviously.
But a lot of them have the same like prefabricated like. That's why I think it was a BET that did the New Edition. That wasn't like a big huge. I think it was BET. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Because it wasn't like a Fox or like some. No one got their hands on it
Right.
and made it like better for sponsorship.
Right.
It was legit.
But there was
There was
Who was the Spanish girl that was really?
Oh
killed?
yeah, yes.
Selena.
Selena
That
good.
was huge.
Selena was good.
Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash movie.
That's
was,
a great one.
that was huge. It's a
They
big one.
showed.
What about Ray? Jamie Foxx as
Well,
Ray Charles?
Jamie Foxx absolutely made me feel like
crushed
he
it.
was Ray Charles.
I know you guys probably
It's
weren't
like
big.
Eddie Murphy doing Stevie Wonder.
Wonder.
There's no damn difference.
La Bamba is on the list. It's
I
an
love
older
that one.
movie.
Richie Valens, Big Bopper.
I'm a big Bob Dylan guy, so I'm not there. Makes my top 10, but it's an acquired taste. Great Balls of Fire, Jerry Lee Lewis. That was a pretty good movie. I don't know. To me, like Straight Outta Compton was on the other night, and I was watching it because I was listening to. So after Ice Cube left, and then he
Hold on,
started.
where would you put Purple Rain?
Now I love Prince, but Purple Rain freaked me out. I'm not gonna I love Prince, one of my all-time
Yeah.
favorites, and I know he's out there this way and the other, and I'm with most of it.
Yeah.
But
Rain
he
fan.
had.
I'm
he
just
had-
saying, like, that
when-
was-
all right. When
I
he
mean,
wore the
Prince
sheer,
was one
he
of the
wore
greatest of all time.
and
Yes.
still one of my kids know. If I say who sings the song, we play it in the car. I play my list, and I play name that tune.
Right.
And then my son's always like, if he doesn't know it, he's like Prince, Tom Petty, Michael Jackson, Sublime. Like there's
Okay.
like 7 he can go with. But when Prince wore the sheer pantyhose, and when I mean
freaked you out.
sheer, there was nothing else, and then
Right, that freaked
like
you
an
out.
American flag
Right,
shirt.
right,
Like
right, right.
I just
Kinda
because
took-
you know he
yeah.
was. I in my mind, I relate to him because he was a nasty point guard from Minnesota suburbs.
Right.
People in Minnesota. Chris Humphreys wrote that thing in the Players Tribune that said, you know, I grew up seeing him and his entourage at my grocery store every day. No one bothered them. He didn't bother anyone. There wasn't like paparazzi.
Right.
But I saw Prince on a weekly basis at the grocery store, and he was the coolest cat in the world. I love that stuff.
Right.
And I love everything about him. Then I went with my aunt to see him in concert at RFK, and he wore sheer pantyhose pants.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's-
there was nothing being hidden,
not
and we had like 10th row seats.
Right.
And all of a sudden, my aunt was like, "We have to go." I was like, "We just got here. We
Right.
saw Thriller here like 2 months ago, Michael Jackson tour. Like those are my 2 tours that I've ever seen.
What's love got to do with it?
But that was
I
depressing.
didn't like that, man.
It was depressing.
like it.
Tina Turner's the
Anime?
best.
Anime? I didn't like that.
So-
but I like that.
Secondhand
Notorious.
emotion.
That,
That was good.
Notorious
It was
was
good.
good. Notorious was
but
good.
the
The little Kim scene was my favorite.
I
I'm
would
not gonna
put-
lie to you.
Yeah.
the story
that was
of
fantastic.
the story of who's the producer? The Clive Davis. What was that called? That was a 4 or 5 part thing on HBO. I thought
I didn't catch it.
American Life or darn it,
I
someone's
mean,
gonna
my
see
number one is New Edition. That's
Alright.
my number one.
It was so cool. It
That
was,
was really, really
I
good,
couldn't
man.
wait to see the next episode.
Right. They did a good job on that.
They did
They did
because
a really good job.
I mean, I just know what I like after I'm watching it, not before.
Right.
And I couldn't wait to see more of it. It was so
Right.
cool.
Right.
We're gonna kill ourselves when we think of this thing that it was this one guy who discovered everybody.
Oh, Barry Gordy.
Who was there was a show. It was in the last 2.5, 3 years. There was, and we talked about it on this show. Have you guys seen? Have you guys seen? And I can't think of the name of it. I'm so upset with myself.
I don't know.
Okay, well, it'll come to us.
I'm embarrassed because Smokey Robinson is my father's number one of all time. Otis is 2. Motown's there. This is what I was raised on. But Smokey, my parents' anniversary last year, we all sent them. He played live. I think he's like 80-some years old. He was up. He crushed a 2-hour live show at the casino in West Virginia, Charlestown. It was like a 500-person room, and he crushed it. My parents were like, he's killing it. And was like getting in with the crowd, like, what the hell are y'all doing here? Like, y'all used to listen to me. Now we're up here doing this. He made them feel so good on their night. It was so good. Smokey has always been playing in our house. And Barry Gordy and Smokey go back to the origination of all of everything being
Defiant
good
Ones.
in my world. The Defiant
The
Ones.
Defiant
yes.
Ones.
Oh yeah.
That's
Damn it.
probably top 3. It's
Damn
got to
it.
be, right?
It's
it has
awesome.
to be. It's amazing.
I'm going to edition 1. I'm not going to stop it. The Defiant Ones. What? My God! What? How
kills me
Eminem's
is that I was
life went
thinking
from
about it when I
from
came up
one,
with this.
because
Yeah.
of Dr. Dre. Eminem went from this to that.
Jimmy.
After
It was about
Dr.
Jimmy.
Dre went from this to that. That just the passing of the torch, the way he brought him in, the way how those two human beings met each other because of a pile of mixtapes.
I know. And I will
Dr.
say,
Dre did the artistry for everything. Dr. Dre's a freaking genius.
you talk about Smokey. The Temptations movie I thought was awesome because Smokey was in it and he sang.
He wrote damn near all their damn songs.
Yeah.
Smokey is one of the greatest American poets of our
I'll
generation.
tell you another one. The 5 Heartbeats.
It was good.
That
I
was a
liked
good
it.
one.
I
That
liked
was.
it.
I mean, you could go on and on and on.
And
about
fake band movies, Almost Famous with
What about
Stillwater.
with Tom Hanks with
That Thing You Do, by the what's it
The
called?
Commitments.
The Oneaters. They
Hold
call
on.
them the Wonders.
The Commitments.
Commitments is
You
top
guys
5.
saw that? At the dark end. I'm stopping because I want to go on.
You
forever.
get into it. I know,
The
I like it,
Commitments.
though.
I
You
love.
like it?
Try Little Tenderness. I mean, Otis did it, but the Commitments,
Right.
they did it like right below.
We snuck
No
in.
one else can ever touch it.
We stuck in a diner menu. We stuck in some music stuff. We got NBA Finals. We talked about the Redskins in a positive light. We even gave the Wizards a little bit of shine. I'd say it was a pretty strong. We got summertime music playing in the background thanks to Kevin Ricca.
It was pretty good, but
I
hey,
like it.
listen, I'm asking you each one question before
All
we
right,
go. It's
we're
gonna
gonna
be
go out
rapid
on
fire.
these last questions.
Rapid fire.
All right, start with Juice.
Juice, because I never would have gotten this.
Okay.
Thank you for Prince in the background for our question.
Right.
This man led the Bullets Wizards franchise in the history of the game in minutes per game, points per game, and rebounds per game.
It's not Mitchell Butler. We're just gonna rule
Minutes
them
per
right out.
game.
I know. I said it'd be
Points per
quick,
game.
but I had to ask you this one because I never would have got this, man.
Minutes per game, points per game, and
All-time leader.
Minutes per game.
All-time leader in minutes per game, points per game, and rebounds per game.
I have a guess.
I mean, the first name that comes to my mind is Wes.
Yep, and West led in games, minutes played, rebounds, and fouls.
Wow.
All
I'm not
time.
Right. Okay.
I know. It shocked me because I'm going to be honest with you. I
You
know
wouldn't
the
have guessed
name.
West?
I know the name barely.
Who's that?
Walt Bellamy.
Wow.
I was going to guess
guys,
Antoine Jameson.
I'm telling you that I like to think of myself as someone that kind of like participates in these like
Yeah, me
crazy
too.
conversations.
Me too. I'm a little-
Walt Bellamy. It shocked me because there's not many names in the Wizards all-time stuff, fellas. There's not.
The player.
There's not.
Well, that's Bill Bellamy. Sorry.
Walt Bellamy. Minutes per game, points per game, rebounds per game.
But he wasn't when. I mean, that's when they were in Baltimore, wasn't it?
I guess so.
But still, that's franchise
All
record.
right, that's
No,
Frank.
no, no. I know it's a tough question for you.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't. You could have given me 1,000 names. All right.
Yeah.
So you got Wes. We all know it's Wes and Elvin have everything and anything. But I'm going to ask Ken this one.
Okay.
Ken, and you can chime in if you got it, Juice. The all-time leader in three-point field goal percentage in the history of the franchise.
In the history of the Washington
Bullets,
Bullets franchise.
including the Baltimore Bullets, but don't worry about that because that ain't the case.
I'm going to say Michael Adams would be my first
It's
guess.
a great answer. I love that answer.
Scott Skiles would be up there in my rankings. And if it's not either of the two of them, I might go back as far as Earl the Pearl.
I love all your answers, but 3 strikes and you're out,
Oh,
sir.
okay. Can I get a bonus?
Real quick, though,
foul tip?
shout out to T-Strack and George Mirasan, your favorite player of all time, is the all-time Wizards Bullets leader in field goal
percentage, without a doubt. That would
Right.
be an easy one. If
Okay.
you would have asked me that, I would have nailed it.
Well, there's only like 8 names that come up in all these things, and this is one of them. And this is
Phil
one of the,
Chenier would be my last guess.
God, I know. I'll give you 3 more. I don't know if you're gonna get it.
Kevin Greavy.
I love that guy. It's the name I heard growing up. The first one for the Wizards: Jeff Malone, Kevin Greavy, and the Bruise Brothers were my guys.
Who is it?
All time. Well, no, I get one last guess because I
Hey, you
did.
just struck out.
No, I
You're
haven't.
He
4
struck
strikes?
out with 4 foul-offs. But here's the deal: before we go, I'll give you one hint. He was a ride-to-die LeBron James guy who you brought with him, and he was also ours.
A ride to die LeBron James guy.
I rhymed it too, just so you.
It's not like a Larry
know
Hughes kind
that
of
it's not
situation.
Larry Hughes.
I mean, what do you got?
Come on, man.
Die, LeBron.
Oh, I
James.
mean maybe the original ride to die when he started first. Now he hadn't upgraded to bringing in the Ray Allens yet, but this guy was in the mold.
It's either Ramon Sessions or Rasul Butler.
No, played his college ball for Billy Donovan at the
Mike
University
Miller.
of Florida.
Mike
Miller.
Yeah.
Mike Miller is the all-time 3-point percentage. Yeah. All right.
Actually, that actually.
Listen, I had a bunch of other stuff written down.
That's
We've
good.
gotten here.
That's good.
I wanted to ask you guys.
That's good.
Sorry, Juice, because Walt Bellamy escaped
Walt
me.
Bellamy did. Yeah,
He might,
escaped me too.
listen, I don't have
That's
that.
crazy.
And I like to think of myself as someone that would no chance. No chance.
How many of Earl's
So I gave you the
years-
hard question, but that was pretty hard. Too.
How many Earl's years was there a 3-point line? All of them, or like half, or what was the deal?
I don't think so. When they put it in 70,
I'm trying to think of
8,
how
79
dumb a guess
maybe?
it was. Or if
Post
it had any-
Pistol Pete is all I know because he
Right.
was shooting from
Yeah.
50.
yeah, 78,
Yep.
79. I think they had that.
Well, we're gonna be
That's
shooting
crazy.
from
Real
long
quick,
range.
real quick before
All
we
right, what
get
do you
off
got? What do
here,
you
man.
got? All right, what do you got?
Rest in peace to Mr. Bart Starr.
Yes. Toughest man in football.
Yeah. He, probably. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and maybe you guys, real quick before we get off, can maybe chime in on this. What franchise do you think had the best collection of quarterbacks
All time?
all time?
It's Green Bay.
Got to be Green Bay, right?
In my opinion.
Aaron Rodgers,
Brett Favre
Favre,
and Bart Starr.
Bart Starr.
Don
Magic Man.
Magikowski.
It don't even matter about Lynn Dickey.
No.
It doesn't even matter about the rest of them. But I mean, those 3 guys are
No, you can come up
synonymous with
and
great football.
did Horn-
Because you said 3. You can come up with Steve Young, Joe Montana.
Yes.
You got names that are coming out around here. Listen, we got 3 that won Super Bowls now, granted. Not on that level, but Theismann, I think, would have been a nice 1B to a 1A
Right.
if we had another one.
Right.
Mark Brunell played for the Packers, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady and Tony Eason
He was
aren't
drafted by
exactly.
them.
Steve Grogan.
And I'm a huge fan of championship MVPs and Super Bowl 1 and 2. This guy, Bart Starr, what a name, right?
Yeah.
You're playing for Vince Lombardi, a
Yeah.
name we all. Bart Starr.
Yeah.
And the thing that I read today, everything I read today, like you did, Juice, I love
Right.
that you brought it up, was what a humble person this guy was. He was the original star of the league.
Right.
When the NFL became the NFL under Vince Lombardi in
Right.
Green Bay.
Right.
He should have been the most arrogant. Nope. Brett Favre said it. Aaron Rodgers said it. Multiple Packers said it. He was the most humble superstar, arguably in the history of sports.
Right.
And I love that about
Absolutely.
him. He was the MVP of Super Bowl I and the MVP of Super Bowl II. I mean, he's going up against Daryl LaMonica and Al Davis and their West Coast, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Didn't matter.
Right.
Jim
You know,
Zorn.
stop
played for
Jim
the-
Zorning. You can't say
Briefly.
that name after the names that we just
Right.
discussed.
Jim Zorn.
He was.
Nah, Juice, you're right, man. Bart Starr.
Yeah,
the
rest in
original,
peace, man.
The
Rest in peace.
original
That was
Super Bowl MVP.
the original
Although,
Super Bowl
if
MVP.
I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't throw out a Sammy Ball, Sonny Jurgensen, Doug Williams, Joe Theismann, Mark Rippon starting five at you.
Yeah, that's listen, if you want to get into NFL
saying.
championships, Sammy Baugh still leads the Redskins in touchdown passes.
And he still leads. Yeah, he's still. Yeah,
So
Single
let's say,
season touchdown passes. He almost
We can go
invented the
back.
forward pass.
But the modern era,
Right.
understood.
Super Bowl era.
Joe Montana, Steve Young,
Jeff George did play for the Redskins, just as long as we're being honest.
John
here.
Elway, Peyton Manning,
I did Rob Johnson,
Yeah, but Peyton was on his decline.
and they don't have three.
Ken Graham,
So
True.
they have, Bart Starr, Brett Favre,
John Freese.
and Aaron Rodgers.
All won Super
I
Bowls.
don't think you can beat those three.
The only one of those three that didn't win a Super Bowl MVP was
Jeff Hostetler.
Brett Favre.
He won one.
Nope.
Brett Favre didn't win an MVP.
Desmond?
Who won it? Desmond Howard.
As a receiver
That's
who
true.
never
And
caught
the
one
kicker.
pass,
Tony
the
Banks.
only special teams winner of any Super Bowl MVP is Desmond Howard.
John Beck.
And he didn't even score a touchdown.
Gus Farrat.
It's the craziest Super Bowl MVP award ever
Jason Kidd.
because we drafted him fifth and we didn't get shit.
Patrick Ramsey.
Wow.
Did I
Rest
mention
in
John
peace,
Beck?
rest in-
yes,
rest in
yes.
peace,
Bart
Mr.
Starr,
Bart Starr.
was
Rest in peace.
absolutely a gentleman
I will drink
amongst
Yes.
human beings.
Yes. Yes.
I love that everyone loved him for his humble.
Yes. Wow.
Did I mention Danny Werfel and Shane Matthews?
Yeah, but you know what?
I'm just
You
saying.
didn't mention Gibran Hamden, so I'm proud
Nicely
about that.
done. Nicely done, sir.
WCAC's own, O'Connell's own, Gibran Hamden.
Shout out to Kevin Hogan. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, the Audible, and the HotBox, he is Kevin McClinton.
I like doing this, man. This is fun, man.
It's
Chopping
fun.
it up with y'all, man. My little bro's not here today, man, but this is fun. We combine the shows and just kind of talk about whatever and get what we have to get off our chest.
Therapy.
A lot of fun.
Mark Sanchez, Josh Johnson, Kevin Ricca.
It's a 1AS joint. Forget about what Ken just said, but whenever we come together for a collaboration on a 1AS, it's always awesome, man, because this has gone down for a long time before this poker table. It's going to go down for a long time with this poker table. And Ken Marangoli, you've brought two worlds together, and they've collided in such a lovely
I love it.
fashion.
I love it.
Did you say
Not
John,
always.
Did you say John Beck?
I sure did. Did I mention Matt the Dream Hasselbeck? Because he threw a couple balls for us too.
We had some
Oh,
terrible quarterbacks, man.
Babe Laufenberg, shout out for
We
being
had
great in
some
the
terrible
preseason.
quarterbacks, man. Tony Banks.
Oh, I got it. I said him.
He
The
said
master
When you
of
go
the
back, and
30-yard,
listen, I've got a
1-yard
whole
pass.
lot in there. I got a whole lot in
He
there.
threw it 30. We gained one. Way to go, Banks. Nice job, Schottenheimer. But we didn't know then. We should have held on for dear life.
For dear life.
For dear life. Because we're going to play real ball.
We had Rich Gannon also, just so as long as we're
Brad Johnson, shout out.
yeah, BJ in the house.
That's,
Please don't say that.
yeah. Well, give a BJ to Jeff George. You know, let
Jeff
him
George.
give someone else a BJ.
Fair enough. That's all. It makes perfect sense to me. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo.
Todd Collins.
That's good.
That's
He was
good,
3-1.
I didn't get Todd
He
Collins.
didn't get Todd Collins.
I didn't get him.
Hostetler, what's up,
I
homie?
said Hostetler. I got that in there. I got him in there. Yes, I did.
Fine. Fair enough.
Ooh. Until next Tuesday night,
Sonny Jurgensen, Billy Comer.
I am Ken Marangolo. This was the Audible, and also was.
The hot box.
Hang out with us again next Tuesday night. Appreciate y'all. Still live, guys. No cussing. No cussing.
No, it's fun, man. Hey, look, shout out Doc Walker on his sponsored Masson joint. Had